Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I'm your host, Doug, here with your video blog for March 28th, 2014. The Sweet 16 kicked off last night. We'll also talk some NBA draft as Tyler Ennis has declared for the NBA draft. We'll talk Johnny Manziel Pro Day, and I'll give you my NASCAR winner at Martinsville. So let's get first to the Sweet 16. Last night we had 4 teams advance on to the Elite Eight. We'll see Dayton in Florida in the South region in Memphis tomorrow night at 6:09, and then we'll see Wisconsin and Arizona in the West in Anaheim at 8:49. Bracket pool update. If you are in the Doug Sports Blog and Grill bracket pool, currently I am leading with David Peterson right next to me. We're pulling ahead right now. It's going pretty good. We'll see who comes out on top here. Looks like it's going to come down to me and Dave, so it should be an exciting finish to the Doug Sports Blog and Grill blog bracket pool. Tonight we got some good games. First up, let's start doing some previews. The first game we're going to see is number 11 Tennessee taking on the 2 seed Michigan. That game will tip at 7:15. Tennessee's road. They've beaten Iowa, UMass, and Mercer. Michigan, on the other hand, has beat Wofford and Texas. Okay, I think this could be a very high-scoring game. Some teams that like to get up and down the floor. Some physical teams for sure. Playing in the Big Ten and in the SEC, you're going to play physical. If I have to look at a key matchup, I'm going to look at the big guys. I'm going to look at Jordan Morgan and Horford against Stokes and Maimon. I think it's going to be key. Stokes and Maimon have been the big X factors for Tennessee in these first couple of rounds. I think Michigan can get it done enough down low, and the guard play will be better for Michigan. So I got Michigan winning this one. In the next game, tipping off at around 7:25, 7:40, we'll see number 7 UConn and number 3 Iowa State in the Garden. It's going to be a great environment for sure. UConn, it'll be like a home game for UConn. UConn to get to the Sweet 16 has gone through St. Joe's and Villanova. Iowa State, NC Central, and North Carolina. Of course, Georges Niang is not going to be playing for Iowa State with the broken foot. This is going to be a fun game to watch. It's going to be free-flowing. It'll be in the 80s. It's going to be up and down for sure. I think guard play is going to be the key here. DeAndre Kane against Shabazz Napier. I think Kane just has better size, has better athleticism. I like Kane to shut down Napier and to score a lot on Napier. And I think Boatwright is not going to be a factor in this game. Boatwright is just a little guy. So I'm taking Iowa State in this one to move on to the Elite Eight. In the nightcap from Indianapolis, we'll have Kentucky against Louisville, 8 versus 4. This game will likely tip around 9:45, probably 10 o'clock when it's all said and done. Kentucky's road, they've gotten through Kansas State in that great game against Wichita State. And Louisville sneaks past Manhattan and then beats St. Louis pretty handily. This is going to be a fun game to watch. A lot of good athletes on the floor. Russ Smith, the Harrison twins, Julius Randle, a lot of good NBA talent as well with Montrezl Harrell. And what it's going to come down to is for Louisville, they have experience, and for Kentucky, inexperience. It's going to be who plays better. I think Kentucky is probably the more talented team overall, but I think Louisville has the experience. Russ Smith is going to go off, and Louisville will advance on to the Elite Eight. And finally, I think probably the best game of the night, Michigan State number 4, number 1 Virginia. This game will tip right around 10 o'clock in Madison Square Garden. Michigan State has gotten past Delaware and Harvard in the first 2 rounds. Coastal Carolina and Memphis have both fallen to Virginia. This is going to be a good defensive game, a half-court game, and it's going to come down to who can operate in the half-court most effectively. I think with the point guard play and the veteran leadership of Appling for Michigan State, he's going to be able to orchestrate their offense in the half-court and really get it done for this team. And I think Michigan State's going to win it. They have more weapons with Dawson and Payne, and I'm taking Michigan State in this one. Gary Harris as well hasn't been talked about a lot. So I have Michigan State and Louisville, Iowa State and Michigan moving on to the Elite Eight on Sunday. All right, the big news in the area has been Tyler Ennis proclaiming and declaring for the NBA draft. I'm not surprised right now. He's number 9 on Chad Ford's big board. He's the second best point guard, I think, in the draft behind Marcus Smart. I think in the right system, Ennis can get it done in the NBA. He's not overly athletic, but he plays smart, plays level-headed. He's quick. He's not fast, but I think he can make enough shots. He has similar shooting skill, I think, to Michael Carter-Williams. Michael Carter-Williams has more length, but I think Ennis can D it up at the NBA level and can pass and distribute at the NBA level. So we'll see what he can do. He'd be a good player in the NBA with a good pick-and-roll system. We'll see what Ennis can do. I'm excited to see for sure, and I'm happy that he's going to the NBA draft. All right, the big other news yesterday was Johnny Manziel's pro day. Johnny Manziel came out in pads and a helmet. I liked what I saw from him. He made some good throws. And I think this is what I've said a lot with Johnny Manziel. What it comes down to with Johnny Manziel is he can make all the NFL throws. He athletically and physically, he can make all the NFL throws. It's just if he chooses to. If he goes through his first read and his second read into his third read and then takes off to run instead of just going from first read to run. That's going to be an important thing. I think we need to realize his intangibles are great. And I loved the last play of his pro day. He threw that 60-yard bomb to Mike Evans. I loved it. It was kind of just like a, yeah, I can throw the ball 60 yards. Don't question my arm strength. I like the message sent by Manziel, and I'm excited to see where he goes in the draft. And I'm going to be watching because Johnny Manziel is an exciting guy to watch in football for sure. NASCAR this week will be at Martinsville. I'm 2-3 in my picks this year. I'm going to take Jeff Gordon this week at Martinsville. He was fast last week at California. Had some iffy ending stuff going on there. Would have won it if it hadn't been for Clint Boyer miraculously spinning out. So I'm taking Jeff Gordon in this one. I like him. We're going to have our 6th different winner, and Jeff's going to lock himself pretty much into the chase at an early point and could take the points lead with the win as well. So that's going to be fun to watch. All right, just a couple announcements. Monday, I'm going to be back. We're going to talk MLB Instant Replay as I will be watching the Sunday night game of the Dodgers and the Padres as they begin Instant Replay. It's going to be great. I'll be back tomorrow, though, with some NCAA Elite 8 breakdown, as we'll have 2 Elite 8 games tomorrow and 2 on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk some NFL and NBA next week as well, and we'll get you ready for the Masters in just over a week. It's going to be great. Follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. That's YankeeBaller415. Comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I will be back on Saturday. Have a good Friday. We'll see you tomorrow.